The House of Shadows, the story of Dona Maria Pereira in Aracaju. My name is Maria Pereira. I am from Sergipe, born and raised in Aracaju. I have never been a woman who believes in ghosts. I have always been practical, down to earth, and raised studying and working since I was a child. But all that changed the day I walked through the gate of that house. At that moment, without realizing it, I was entering something much bigger. Something ancient. Something dark. What I experienced, no one can explain. And not everyone should know. I was 58 years old when I bought that house in the Santo Antonio neighborhood. An imposing building, with thick walls, tall dark wooden windows, and an iron gate twisted by time. They said it was built at the beginning of the last century. The kind of place that seems to hide secrets in every wall. The previous owner, a mysterious man named Dr. Alvaro, died alone, locked in the back room. They said he hadn't spoken to anyone for years. Some residents claimed to hear muffled screams coming from the house at night, but no one dared to investigate. The house remained empty for a long time, until this opportunity to buy it came up at a much lower price than normal. As a widow looking for a new start, I thought it was a gift from God. Little did I know, it was the opposite. On the very first day, while unloading some boxes in the living room, I caught a glimpse of something in the hallway. A tall, thin, motionless shadow, as if it were waiting for me. I blinked and turned around quickly, but it was gone. I pretended not to see it. I thought, it's all in my head. Tiredness, age, stress. But that was just the beginning. Over the next few days, things got worse. The shadows stopped being brief appearances and started moving around the house. They floated in the kitchen, crossed the hallway, stopped at my bedroom door. There were nights when I woke up with the feeling that someone was lying next to me. And the sounds, footsteps in the attic, which didn't even exist. Whispers and voices that seemed to be inside my head, but echoed off the walls. The worst thing was the mirror in the living room. An old mirror that came with the house. It would fog up on its own, even with everything closed. And in the steam, marks appeared, hands. Prints on the inside. Frightened, I started looking for help. I went back to the local church, asked the priest for advice, confessed my fears. I took holy water home, spread crucifixes, prayed rosaries every night. But nothing changed. On the contrary, it was as if the shadows were more aware of my presence. As if they were studying me. A neighbor, Dona told me that she knew a gypsy who could help me. I went after her. Clara was her name. A woman with deep eyes and a low voice, who welcomed me into a house full of candles, mirrors covered with cloths and the smell of burning herbs in the air. She held my hand, looked straight into my eyes, and said, "You have been chosen. The house has recognized you. Someone on the other side wants to communicate. But what will come, may break you inside. You need to be prepared." I asked, "Prepared for what?" She simply replied, "What you will see, does not belong to this world. And it, has already begun to see you." That same night, I had a dream, or rather, a lucid vision, as if I were really there. I was inside the house, but it was no longer made of concrete and wood. The walls pulsed like living flesh. The floor was dark and damp, and I felt something moving beneath my feet. The shadows became figures. They were people. But they were incomplete. Eyeless. With open mouths, but without sound. They were crying blood. And all of them called me by name, Maria. Maria, I woke up screaming, in a cold sweat, with a piercing pain in my arm. When I looked, there was a purple mark, as if invisible fingers had held me tightly. From then on, reality and nightmare mixed together. The house seemed to breathe. The air became dense, heavy, almost impossible to pull. The clocks always stopped at the same time, 3:33 in the morning. A child in a white dress began to appear in the yard. She ran, laughing, and disappeared into the dawn mist. But she left no footprints. I went back to the gypsy woman. She told me about a woman named Beatrice, who lived in that house many years ago. She died pregnant, alone, after being abandoned by her own father, Dr. Alvaro. Her spirit never left the place. She was trapped, torn between grief and hatred. And now, she had chosen me to be her bridge. On Good Friday, I woke up in absolute silence. An unnatural silence. No cars, no dogs, no wind. Not even the birds chirped. It was as if the whole world had stopped, just to watch what was going to happen to me. In the room, all the candles I had lit up by themselves, one by one, without any visible fire, as if an invisible presence were walking among them. The air turned cold, and then she appeared, a dense, dark figure with sad eyes. She said, "Maria, listen to me." The voice was weak, as if it were coming from a distant place, but full of emotion. She cried, begged for forgiveness. She showed me her past. I saw everything as if it were a movie inside my head, the abandonment, the pain, the loss of the baby. The loneliness. The cold of death. The imprisonment in the darkness. She didn't want to hurt me. She wanted to be heard. She wanted to be free. She wanted prayers. I fell to my knees and prayed. I prayed like I had never prayed in my life. I asked God to welcome her. To take her away from there. That she would find peace. And for the first time, the house was silent. But a light, clean silence, like a relieved breath. Since then, the apparition stopped. The house became brighter, more alive. But sometimes, when I pass by the old mirror, I swear I see someone behind me. A silhouette. She doesn't move. She just watches me. I don't know if it's gratitude, or a warning. But I know one thing for sure, the world of the living and the world of the dead, are much closer than we imagined. This is my story. You can believe it or not. But the next time you pass by an old house, one of those with tall windows and a rusty gate, look twice. Because maybe, it's looking back at you. True story told by Dona Maria Pereira. Now tell me, would you dare to spend a night in this house? If you liked this video, help us by subscribing to the channel, liking and sharing.